Good afternoon. It is now May 2017 and it is now 14 years that this South African family has been trafficked to Ireland by the Irish government, and we have been through every single department in Ireland, and Ireland is well aware of the violation of human trafficking of a South African family. The thing is, where it started, the ministers of this country brought me here as a professional, as a businessman, to do a business. And that was an exchange of trade and enterprise. The contract period was 10 years. I have now been held 14 years in this country, illegally, unlawfully, by the Irish government. The Garda are well aware of this, and we have been thrown from pillar to post because of doctors who fraudulently frauded money. So I am my family are now paying for the illegal activities of doctors with insurance fraud, involved insurance fraud, with the Gardaí involved insurance fraud, with the government involved in insurance fraud. And we have been through this for a long time. And the government are lying to my people. That is the straight, cold fact. They are lying to my people. I was brought to this country, and one of the things is I'm a prophet of God. Now, if that's a crime, then all of humanity that worship God and work for God, it's a criminal offense. That's what they basically saying. Now, what the Taoiseach knows, and I have written to them, in 2004, I wrote to them and explained to them very clearly what a man in their hospital was doing to me for money. And nothing was done about it. No investigation was done, and tirelessly for 7 years they administered illegal lethal drugs. All the paperwork I have, until I had a total respiratory collapse and I died. I spent another 7 years going through each and every single department in Ireland. And each time, as I am the sole legal representative of my family, I was denied all laws, all human rights, and persecuted. Now they are busy trying to persecute my wife and my children for their own crimes. And that's a criminal offense. Now I want to read to you the definition, and I've given instructions to lawyers to sue for my pension and my salary, which is due, and for my health, which was in a state when I arrived here. Now I want to read to you straight out of the United Nations Human Trafficking. And let's see if I am wrong, or are they lying and they're trying to cover this up. So let's read. Trafficking in persons is a serious crime and a grave violation of human rights. Now, bearing in mind this family has got no human rights in Ireland. We have been rejected of all human rights in Ireland. Every year, thousands of men and women and children fall into the hands of traffickers in their own countries and abroad. Almost every country in the world is affected by trafficking, whether a country of origin, transit, or destination for the victims. Now, what is human trafficking? Let's read it. Article 3, paragraph A of the protocol. To prevent, suppress, and punish trafficking in persons. Defines trafficking in persons as a recruitment. Now, I was recruited, and when there was a problem, I notified the ministers of this country of this. And it is the minister's responsibility to appoint a legal team and to investigate it immediately. Nothing was done. In fact, they covered up for the doctors, and then later for the lawyers, and then dragged me to court in this country when I was drugged up by medical practitioners in this country. That is cowardice, to say the least, to put a man in front of a court that is not able to mentally defend himself in a court of law. Then it is the transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons. On a 10-year contract, 4 years have overdone, because I have asked this government to put my salary back and to give me my pensions back. Because in South Africa there's a shortfall in my pension fund which is affecting the people of South Africa. My government was kind enough to investigate all of this and said the crime was committed in Ireland, Ireland must sort it out, which they are not doing. The EU said exactly the same thing, and I produced those documentations to the government of Ireland, and they rejected. I wrote to the AU, and the AU said the same thing. And the government of Ireland are refusing to obey any laws. And it's got to the point now which they are breaking international laws as well, because they don't fall under any law. They do what they want. And they cover up for their doctors and their guards and their government, because this involves a big insurance fraud case, which involves their own doctors and their own guardie and their own people. So they are using my family as a scapegoat, which is unheard of. Where do you find that you have tortured a man till death over 7 years and then rejected all law in every single court? Now, each time you are allowed legal representation, but that has been denied, because when I point to the law and to what my president has given me, they reject it. Now, I was been in court a number of times, and the last time I was in court, I declared it out of jurisdiction because I was told by the Irish themselves, if you want any justice, you will not find it in Ireland. Now, I spent 7 years going through this, and 7 years of persecution that they refuse to assist this family because we are Africans. Now, fraud is included in the definition of human trafficking. We've got payment of benefits. You see, this doctor was taking €35 off my life a month so that he could get paid by the government €35 off my life. So he was extorting money out of the government at the expense of my life and the lives of my family that he brought here as professionals. and we get treated like animals. When I was in court, the judge flatly denied and passed the judgment without any legal standing. The case should have gone through to another court, because out of jurisdiction means out of jurisdiction. It means that I go to an international court and I stand in front of an international court as a legal representative and protector of my family, because Ireland has denied me all law and all solicitors. Wherever I go, they deny it. I went back to the court and I said, I need to reverse this decision, and I am putting in an order to reverse it because it was illegally done. Now, the courts gave me the forms to fill in, and I'll tell you what forms they were. The notice of appeal. Now, they were kind enough to give me the notice of appeal, but not kind enough to give me the actual order of the judge. Now, I returned to the court on the 17th of that month, and I went and I said, I need this letter from the court. I was informed by them that I had to do so in writing. So I did so in writing. And I took it back the very next day to the courts. And I submitted the letter stamped by the Gardaí themselves. And I said, my notice of intent to appeal the judge's decision. Now, under human trafficking, this should not be necessary. But they have been getting this family to run round and round in circles while they commit the crimes, and I pay the price. And then I had to return on the 27th, a week later. And I stood there and I said, I'm still waiting for that letter that you were going to post back to me. And it took 6 people to make a photocopy of the judge's order. Now, on the judge's order, there is mention of a solicitor, which I know nothing about. I was the only legal representative standing up in court. So how could you go and put a solicitor's name down and send me a letter that man was my legal representative? No, he wasn't. I defend my family because I am the only legal representative and protector of this family. And I had to learn all law while I was paralyzed on purpose, neck down by your doctors. And yet you lied to my people. Now, I am not a liar, I am not a thief, and I do not steal. You brought me here, and I want my family restored the way I came to Ireland, the way I told you. Just because of my faith or who I am does not negate the treatment that you give me. You brought me here. You put me back in my country the way you got me, the way you received me and my family. You said you needed my professionalism and my assistance, but yet you took our lives. My wife and my children under human trafficking, and then you try and deny it, and then you try and cover it up. And I've been badgered across the social networks by Irish ministers. hampering, removing posts, doing what they want. You're out of jurisdiction, sir. I have been refused all Irish law, all Irish constitutional law, while I await for my salary to be given back, and you withhold that and try and extort more money out of us. And by forcing us to try and live like animals. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. And I produce to you from my Prime Minister and my President letters stating their utter disdain at your treatment. And yet you call for people of trust. But yet you hide an entire South African family, and the news knows about this. I've been to the newspapers. I've been to RTE. They all know about this, but they're hiding and covering it up. How much longer do you think that I have to be silent? I am a prophet of God. I do not have to be silent when an injustice has been done to a man and his family by your own corruption. And then you sit and pay people off and then say, go get a doctor to say so. And when I do and produce the evidence, you turn around and say, it's not good enough. But you've got all the medical evidence that you killed me. You've got that medical evidence. You've got the medical evidence that you administered illegal, lethal amounts of OxyContin. But you hide it. And then on YouTube, you hide my tapes. I need this matter sorted out. And I need my family restored. And I need to get back to my country, South Africa. I have been trying for 7 years to get back to my country. The first 7 years you spent taking my life. And then we got all the assistance we needed. And then all of a sudden all the doctors are gone. And when I request medical help, I get none. And my family get none. We need to sort this matter out. And you need to sort your problems out. It's not for me. My government has said to me, Kevin, it's not your problem to sort out their corruption, their problems. That's for you to sort out. So I need this matter sorted out, please. And without further persecution of my family. This house is under international law. Since I have been pushed out of Irish law, I fall under the Geneva Convention laws. Yet you walk into my house and cut my gas illegally. And then when I ask the gas company, bought gas, for a legal document, I don't get nothing. I don't get any response legally. Because in Ireland they operate like that. From the top, the ministers dictate downwards what gets done and how it gets done. And you cannot move in anywhere in Ireland if they tell you you can't move. Because they will push you out any way they can. I came in the front door of Ireland. I did not come in the back door. I came in as a businessman, and I expect to go out the same way. Not to be treated like an animal and to be pushed one side and tried to be broken. You've already broken my wife and my children. Now, I want legal representation the way it should be. I go and see lawyers and you have them removed. And then say to me, now go find a lawyer. But when I see the lawyer, you've removed him. If you're a South African and you hear this, then you must know I speak the truth, and I only speak the truth. And the truth is, there's only one man that knows this climate change is a hoax, and I can prove it scientifically, and that's why some people are trying to hold me back. And I will only speak to my government, and I will only show them scientifically, mathematically, everything that I have discovered. Our minds are falling down. There's a reason for that. So I'm asking you, sort this problem out. Thank you.